All right.
What was the like in House Bunny, where she's
Yes.
Oh, she says all the names. Yeah. Alex Morgan. It's the way you remember it.
yeah.
Riley comes in. Angel City on the board.
Corner kick presented by Cedar Sinai. Shifty work into the box. And across, it's in! Oh, it's Lulu! It's a dream return!
Hi everyone, and welcome to Casual FC, an Angel City match preview pod and a footy therapy pod featuring two very certified, very official, very real footy therapists. I'm your host, Angela Morales, with my fantastic and wonderful co-host, Mario Salazar, with a very special guest today, returning for a second year in a row to talk about the lore, the majestic majesty of the NWSL. We have my fiance, Eva Friedman.
Hey.
Hey. Thank you for joining us.
Thank you for having me again. I'm glad that I didn't mess it up so disastrously the first time that I get to come back.
Hey, I mean, you did it off your phone and some headphones. You're coming back to us year 2 with a full mic setup and everything like that.
Yeah, she's
know.
really far away tonight. Also, I'm recording in the living room. She is on the other side of this wall in the bedroom.
But don't get too impressed yet, because what you can't see is that the mic stand is held together with tape, and I have to hold it so that it doesn't just keep falling downwards. Like, I found the one messed up mic stand at my rehearsal space and was like, surely this would not be the one that is messed up. I surely would not have left that in such a convenient place. So I just grabbed it, and then I went, like an hour ago, I went to set up and was like, oh no, what have I done?
Oh, no. It's good. By the end of the recording, you're going to be just eyes.
Yeah, just down to there. Yeah, I'll just come in like that.
Just slowly melt.
As it's, I just slowly wind down.
All right. Well, thank you for joining us. I will do our little special intro only because I am truly going to be the casual in this episode. Eva and Angela will be bringing you lore, bringing you fun facts, tidbits, tweets from the back of their head. They don't have any of this written down. And last time they didn't have any of this written down, and they were pulling stuff that I had to Google later to try to put together.
Human junk drawer.
So I might have to be taking notes during this, but this is chapter 2, or dos, or deux, of our retirement retrospective. I think this is really going to be an annual series, mainly because
I hate it.
Yeah, it's like a love-hate thing. It's probably going to be an annual series because of the fact that these, especially if you have been with the NWSL the entire time, or if you've been pre-NWSL following these players and things like that, they're starting to get to that point of retirement age, which always sounds like a weird thing, but then you have to think about sports, and they're all elite athletes. They're all putting their bodies
and
through.
They're all the same age as us.
Exactly. They're all the same age as us with probably way lower cartilage. I'm not going to say completely lower, but we're all in different ranges here. And we're at that point. And we're at that point where they're going to start retiring kind of every year. There's going to be a whole new batch of the ones that we've been watching, and we've been kind of following their careers, and we're seeing them kind of move on to their next chapter. Some of them might be going into podcasting and rivaling us, god damn it, with like bigger audiences already, or doing whatever they kind of end up going to. But it's like I know we've talked about this before, but it's like when you're watching like an actor and like they're really young, right, as a child actor, and you see them, you're kind of growing up with them. They don't feel like they're getting any older or any faster. But when you see the old actors already, they're just old all the time. You know, it doesn't matter that it's been 30 years. They're still that old guy.
They're still the old guy. We watched Muppets Christmas Carol the other night with Michael Caine, and we're like, yeah, he's just old. He was always old.
Yeah.
He played like, at one point he was like 30 in the film. Like, he was old. Like, he just, in my head, he is Alfred, he is a butler, he is old. There's no young version of Michael Caine for, I think, of most Americans.
Yeah, but we were also I was talking about, because you haven't seen it yet, but I was talking about being obsessed with Muppet Treasure Island as a kid. Mm-hmm. And Tim Curry is like the main adult, but then there's like a human kid. And I remember he sings, and I thought he had the best voice. I thought he was so cool. I was like, I want to be him when I grow up. I watched it a year or two ago.
Did not hold up.
This poor kid, maybe I'm going to regret saying this, whatever joke is about to come out of my mouth, but he just looks like he got cast immediately after getting rescued from a locker. Like, just so, and not even close to as mature as I thought he was. I know I was really young when I saw it, but watching it back, I was like, this kid looks like he's 3 years old. He has a weird haircut that you could only get away with in the 90s unless you're a lesbian or a non-binary person in the 2020s. But
the 90s all over again.
Or even watching something like Now and Then and seeing young Devon Sawa and Christina Ricci and stuff, and you're just like, when I can't believe, or what is it? It's like Halloween Town. Right? Where the girls, I'm 13. I'm old enough to go out trick-or-treating by myself. And watching it as a kid, you're like, yeah, she's 13. She's an adult. And now I see it, and I'm like, not a chance.
Stay your ass at home, Marnie. Like,
yeah, stay home, read a book, write an essay, learn to cook, do some laundry. You have no business being alone right now.
Yeah, it's...
Age is weird.
Age is so wrong.
Age is really weird. And then me thinking, and this is my son, the little one. He stayed home sick, so I was home with him today. But then he saw a card game, and I told him, oh, the box says you have to be 15. And because it's complicated, right? So, and he's, oh, okay. And then he thinks about it. He's like, okay, Maddie can't play. And then he starts counting in his head. And then he goes, 7 years. I'm like, box.
No. Life hits you real fast.
All right. Well, okay. Enough about all that. So, okay. We are talking about some amazing players that are hanging up the boots for the last time. There is no denying that this is going to be a huge amount of soccer IQ that we're going to be losing. Hopefully they passed all that IQ on to, the youngins that came up on their teams, which up until recently hasn't been like a normal thing, right? It's only the last couple of years that the NWSL has been like embracing them youths. So hopefully they're learning and getting to impart all that wisdom. So let's talk. The first one who is on our list, not completely out, we'd still be in the NWSL, but only retiring from international play, the great Alyssa Naeher.
Uncle. I'm
going to preface this by saying they're the Red Stars. I'm sorry. Like, Red Stars are so important to the city of Chicago, and the rebrand is incredibly frustrating. But yeah, so Uncle Naeher, as a friend of mine and I were messaging, friend of the pod as well, like, Alyssa Naeher is my favorite uncle. Tio uncle is the best uncle in my family, as is hers. We're like, I have uncles, but Tio Uncle Naeher is my favorite uncle. Do you want to give the backstory of the uncle nickname, or you want me to?
There are two people you could be talking to?
I know.
Okay. I was just checking. I don't want to speak out of turn.
I'm not gonna know what.
But maybe you do know. I don't know. So I don't know exactly when the nickname officially originated, but I know that we started hearing the Red Stars call her Uncle and everyone was kind of like, what, there's got to be something here. And so if I remember correctly, Steph McCaffrey, before she retired, when there was still hope that she was going to be able to continue playing, she came out and said, oh yeah, we call her uncle because anytime any of us need something fixed, we text her and she just shows up with a toolbox and fixes it or hangs up mounts the TV or does literally whatever home issue we're having and asking for. And
your car battery, like all of those things.
Yeah, I love that she's so reserved and private and quiet, which by all means she is absolutely entitled to that. But I love that the few things we know about her, most of them are that she's just kind and generous and is a very supportive like friend and teammate and is just like always down to help the people around her. That's such an amazing thing to like. There's again, like, I don't have many fun facts about her because she doesn't want us to have many fun facts about her, but like I can tell you that she's a great friend and a great teammate.
The one fun fact I do have is that she recently, like within the last 2 years, upgraded, or 2 to 4 years I should say, she upgraded her car. She was talking, I don't remember if she was talking to Sam, Mewis, Sue and Pino, or Kristen and Tobin about this on one of the soccer pods, but she was saying how she had just recently got a new car for the first time since she was in college, which was the first car she had.
What?
And they were like, what is wrong with you? I think it was Kristen and Tobin. And they're like, what? And she's, yeah, it worked fine until it died in the middle of nowhere. And I was like, oh, okay, well, I got to get it home. And then it was like, oh.
Did she just carry it home herself?
Basically, she had driven it from Connecticut to Chicago multiple times after just bonkers.
I just assume she pushed it back to Chicago with one hand.
Yeah, just the force field.
Yeah, just lightly jogging and slowly pushing the car back.
I mean, that's pretty bad. I mean, I'm going to say my car dying at Disneyland is probably worse.
Ooh.
But yeah.
In the parking structure?
Yes.
Oh,
literally,
no.
Literally right after we paid.
Oh.
We paid. This is my high school car. Right after we paid for parking.
Oh.
And I was driving away from the booth. Giant ass plume of white smoke. Car dead. Got it towed. I didn't even we didn't get to go to Disneyland that day. Towed it. And then basically I just left after the mechanic told me how much, I just left it with him.
Wow.
Like, fuck it. I don't want
use it for parts. I don't want that.
That's brutal.
That's awful.
That's brutal.
But to give like a quick and dirty rundown of Alyssa Naeher's tenure as America's keeper, truly, man. So she had 113 caps overall. Within that, 68 clean sheets. So that's like an over nuts. 500 record. That's insane in any sport. That includes 2 World Cup titles, an Olympic gold medal, an Olympic bronze medal, and 7 Shebas. The She Believes Cup is like the best serious, non-serious, unserious shenanigans tournament on the planet.
I just want there to be a He Believes Cup.
Yeah. Sheba and Heba.
Like, tell me that we're not infantilizing the women or anything. We're not trying to be condescending to the fan base or whatever. And name a men's cup in America He Believes.
Yeah.
Just do it. Just do it. I love it. The vibes. I need it in my veins. I want a shirt that says He Believes with Christian Pulisic and his fucking, sorry, Vero's mom, the fucking eagle constitution ass tattoo that he has. And I just wanted to say He Believes and just embarrass all of us. I want it so bad.
Yeah.
Jeez. Yeah, I would, but then I don't.
I don't want the money from the people that would buy that.
That's true, but to be clear, I want it the same way that I wish I had one of the Boss Nation Too Many Balls shirts.
I know we didn't buy them fast enough.
Yeah, I just want that. I have some weird NWSL lore stuff. I had a FERT sign at the first Angel City game I have an FC Kansas City Blues shirt. I have a Boston Breakers shirt. I've got some older stuff, and I might just make my own Too Many Balls shirt just to know that I have it. I saved pictures of the billboards. I just can't wait in 10 years when we're still doing this and you have me on, and it's so so do you guys remember when Boston had too many balls?
It's like the Breakers were slightly cursed. This team may have, like, I guess curses just reign supreme for Boston teams, but
not for Alyssa Naeher.
But not for Alyssa Naeher.
She is so far from
New
cursed.
England, but she's so far removed from cursed.
The only time she was ever cursed was when we were trying to do that 3-back with Allie Long in what was that, 2016?
The goal that she saved. Because she fully will that bullshit.
She saved it.
The line over the line.
Yeah, that's the only thing. That's the biggest curse. But I mean, for those who are newer.
Was that the one that had them go to the bronze game? Yeah, right? Yeah.
She saved it. She saved it.
But for those who are newer to the Alyssa Naeher chapter of women's soccer, you may remember her from every save ever. She had insane penalty kick saves against England in the 2019 semifinals, which was honestly, I was still on the newer end to watching WOSO, and I could not breathe. My whole body just wound up like a rubber band, just so freaked out. She is also she is the only keeper to have a clean sheet in both the finals of the World Cup and the Olympics.
I didn't know that. That's cool.
Yeah.
Oh, nice.
And,
cool.
I don't know if I don't think there's many men who have done that. I don't think, well, not in America.
We're not really concerned with that if they're
no, honestly, like, I genuinely don't care. But she is also known more recently for her penalty kick taking. Like, she is one of the few keepers to save a penalty, make a penalty,
and she takes them right down the middle.
Yeah. And she just
ice cold
rockets those things that these other keepers, like,
ice cold. No, just the
stares
audacity.
Into your soul.
It's so good.
Like,
I've been saying this up and down the Discord. I want the keeper wars, the goalie wars.
Yes.
Yeah.
Let's go.
At which they were doing they did the skills challenge like after. That's look,
for everything the NWSL does, they do something stupid 5 seconds later.
Okay, you're done watching the entire season. Now we're gonna do the cool stuff with the individual players after.
You do it at halftime. You do it before the game. It's the same day or the day before.
At least we finally have it.
I know.
We've been begging for this for such a long time.
Yeah.
Or some sort of all-star situation.
It feels like such a cop-out to be like, at least we finally have it. It's no, you guys.
No, you're
deserve it in a much better way. But it's like,
right.
oh, thank goodness, finally we get a skills challenge. Woo.
Yeah.
But either way, I've been wanting and to see if they can do it while Alyssa Naeher is still here, and do a goalie war and
show off. I don't
and
care.
For those
Pepper her.
For those that aren't aware of what goalie wars are, it's something that they had at the MLS All-Star. They brought it back like maybe a year or two ago. It's 2 goalies with maybe about 20 yards in between them. They're just facing each other, and then they have 10 seconds to get rid of the ball, essentially, and they're just lobbing balls back and forth to each other. They can either throw them or they can kick them. There is a line that they have to stay behind, but it's just straight shots, one-on-one. It's like whatever you can do within a minute or something like that, and then just play a little tournament bracket style type thing.
Get her
Neely Martin
Berger or Neely Martin for keeper, like Aubrey Kingsbury, like somebody like that. Just that matchup would be insane, especially after the saves that Kingsbury made in the semifinals. But regardless, Alyssa Naeher is etched in U.S. soccer history, NWSL history. My heart. She's part of this family as my favorite uncle. Genuinely, Alyssa Naeher, thank you for your service. You are the greatest keeper in national team history, just based on longevity at the very least. Speaking
of that, like, I think one of the things that I think kind of flies a little bit under the radar, she stepped into the shoes of Hope Solo.
Yeah.
There's a lot to talk about there, but purely from a goalkeeping standpoint, to follow that up is nuts. And to follow it up the way that she did over the last 10 years, I mean, you never worried that she was there. I remember when it was clear that Hope Solo was done, and it was like, okay, Alyssa Naeher, let's go. Maybe we thought this was going to take a couple more years, but it's time. I'm confident. I feel good. And she lived up to that. And I can't imagine what that was like. And she just came in and was like, I don't care. Okay. And she just did it.
Like, it just seemed so natural for her.
Yeah.
And I'm sure, like, the athletes who can put up that icy exterior know how to manage the anxiety and the nerves and all the pressure that comes with that. But it's just so dope.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
It's so freaking cool to just watch somebody be like, okay, it's game time.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, she handled her business. She handled it.
I'm just grateful that she was able to say goodbye to the international game on her terms with a mini send-off.
On a whole other continent so that we couldn't bother her. So
she couldn't be bothered. Which is the
legend.
Most Alyssa thing. Yeah.
Legend.
And not every U.S. national team player is given that, like, proper goodbye as they should be. Sometimes it's
a little more unceremonious.
Yeah, it's a little more accidental if there's like injury or, something else. Sometimes people are dismissed for reasons unknown or ignored, or they age out, or they're injured and then ignored and then not given a proper send-off, like Captain America, Becky Sauerbrunn, who we just wanted to talk about a little bit because she's Becky fucking Sauerbrunn.
Yeah, like, we were trying to figure out if it technically counts as retirement, but I know that she has publicly said that season of her life seems to be done with, and if the national team isn't gonna honor her, we might as well, because why wouldn't you honor her?
She's America's captain. Like, she's legitimately Captain America in my eyes. She's done she did a fantastic job leading this team. Whoever wears that armband after her, so far it's been Alex Morgan, Lindsey Horan, Naomi Girma, and somebody else I can't remember off the top. I think Sane had it for a hot second, just because of subs.
Did she really?
But I think so.
I didn't know that. That makes me so happy.
I know.
What a time to be alive.
But to know that anyone who wears that armband will not fill those shoes. It's going to take a lot.
I mean, I think at a time, and we'll talk about this a lot more when we get to another legend who's leaving us behind, but she has done so much work advocating as an ally. She is always participating in the Pride Month stuff, donating money for soccer scores and goals and everything, and she's written op-eds.
She always says she's going to donate twice as much or some crazy big number if she scores a goal. And nobody has made that happen yet, and I'm still mad about it.
Well, it's homophobic. It's homophobic that it hasn't happened. And but I mean, she's I think stepping into a new phase of this team where it doesn't seem like it's going to stand for what it used to, if anything at all.
Yeah.
I think it's really important to mention she has stuck her neck out there. She was huge with equal pay. She's been an ally to anyone who's needed an ally, and I think we're not gonna see. I don't know that we're gonna see someone like her with the armband on the team again. I just don't. And I think that, I mean, again, she was someone you never worried about. You knew she was going to just ball out for you. She was going to handle her shit. She was going to get bloody when she needed to. And she was just going to play her ass off. And I'm glad that we still have her at the club level. Mm-hmm. But, I mean, I think, like, again, absolute legend, holds the record for most amount of national team minutes without scoring a goal. Which,
and the thing is, it's
love
not that she can't score. She was a forward her entire career before like late high school, early college or something like that. She scores prolifically. She was a midfielder and scored a jillion goals, and then was like, okay, I'm done, I'll play defense. Like, what? I mean, granted, that's completely something I would have done, but you just, I don't know, there's something just great about scoring points or like getting your team ahead, just as much as there is something fantastic about shutting another team down completely. But to be that good that you can just be like, I'll play a defensive position and just kind of give the glory to everybody else. It's fine. Okay.
Yeah. Well, I mean, there is that
sure,
saying,
selfless Sauerbrunn.
Selfless.
I mean, there is the saying of, forwards score the goals, but defenders win games.
Yeah. Like, defense wins games. It's every. Yeah. What are you doing?
I'm getting into a half Brune. She always has she always has one sleeve rolled up.
She does.
It's her thing. It's her thing. She always has one rolled up. And then is it really that noticeable? And everyone's, yeah, because who rolls up a single sleeve? Look at me. True. I don't pull it off. It doesn't work here. It doesn't work, but somehow she does it. And you're like, yeah, maybe I will try doing that. And then immediately realize that you shouldn't.
I was like, what is happening right now?
I thought it was obvious.
No, I'm sorry.
I thought you'd know. It's okay.
Yeah, but overall, Becky Sauerbrunn is just iconic. And if, like Eva said, she stuck her neck out for people in a way that wasn't necessarily common at the time. 2015, 2019, the world was freaking different. And this team really championed just taking care of each other. Yeah. If somebody was getting paid more than somebody else and they had the same tenure, they're like, whoa. If somebody wasn't being treated fairly because of sexual orientation or race or something in between or everything, they were like, hard pass. No. There were so many people on the 2015 and 2019 teams that effectively changed women's soccer internationally that we're now seeing retire, which is why I'm like sobbing constantly about it, because I'm like, no, you don't understand. The U.S. women's national team has become the model of how to act and how to move forward and how to better the game for different countries. Every single other women's soccer international team is saying that. And it's, Marta said it, Von de Donk said it. So many people are like, oh no, we have these goals. That's the model. That's the end goal, is to be as good as the women's national team for America has been, but for our country. So, ta-da! I cried.
If I have the time, I'm gonna put up a counter.
Yeah.
I got through Alyssa Naeher, so whatever.
It's been 0 podcasts since Angela last cried.
Yeah.
Wait, dude. What was it that I put up a little poll that did Angela cry?
Oh,
and then everybody was like, yeah.
And guess what? I didn't shed a tear. So there. I was really sad.
At least not publicly.
I didn't cry.
If you did somewhere I couldn't see it.
Yeah, I didn't cry at all. I pinky swear, because I was like,
I believe you. I just think it's unbelievable.
I don't disagree.
All right. Well, now we're getting on to the ones that are fully retiring. The ones that are hanging up the boots for good, that are, like, their time has come. where do you want to start? And may I just also say, the whole Becky Sauerbrunn thing, off the dome for both of these people here. Like, the only thing in the notes.
Oh, and she also has chickens, and she likes to read books.
The only thing in the notes is a sad face emoticon. Like,
Yeah.
It's
semicolon,
a colon and a left parenthesis. It's
colon
not even an emoji.
And the closed parentheses, open parentheses.
Yeah, it's
whatever.
like T9, like a Nokia flip phone emoji.
I'm 38. Like,
That's all that's in the notes. And then they went on that. So kudos to you. But all right, should we just go top down?
yeah, we'll just
On
go
this
in
list?
order. Otherwise, we'll not know what to do.
All right. So first one on our list, retiring from footy altogether. Sinead Farrelly?
I think
Farrelly?
it's Farrelly.
I thought it was Farrelly.
She's Irish.
Yeah, but she's
on.
also American, so who knows?
That's fair.
Yeah.
Fairly Farley.
Sauerbrunn technically is like Sauerbrunn.
Yeah.
There is a video from like way, way early, like I think 2012 maybe, of when Kriegs, Sauerbrunn, and one other person were like new on the team, and they were introducing each other. And this was when Ali Krieger was playing in Germany and spoke like fluent German. So she's just like, and this is Becky Sauerbrunn, and Becky's, you just said like the German pronunciation.
Yeah. Like, what are you doing?
It's I don't that
The video.
I say Sauerbrunn.
Yeah. That's also the same Ali Krieger that intimidated half of the women's national team because she was doing drills and counting in German because she had been playing in Germany for so long at that point.
That's like the
Yeah,
one thing that
the
could get an
lore is
American.
amazing.
That's the one thing that could scare the crap out of an American. Is someone exercising and counting in German. It's like the
It's,
only thing
what-
that seems more intense than the American physical education system.
Yeah.
It's basically the two examples, the cool runnings when they're like with the Swedish team and they're counting, or the Mighty Ducks when the team from Iceland.
The Iceland team.
Or the little
Yeah.
giants with the antacids.
Yeah.
I just realized it's not the same, but
It's close enough.
it's intimidation.
There has to be a Little Giants reference somewhere.
It's in there.
Okay, so
Some intimidation
yes,
and the impact it can have on a player's well-being, team's well-being, league's well-being. We can't talk about Sinead without talking about the bullshit of it all, given the fact that she was so terribly impacted by it during her tenure with the Portland Thorns. We didn't really ever go into the Yates report and all the investigations that happened a couple seasons ago, but Sinead has been through the ringer throughout her career. She played at FC Kansas City and like during the inaugural season of the NWSL, was traded to Portland, was a huge part of their midfield and their success, and was essentially punished for it by coaching, front office. There was a whole bunch of bullshit in Portland around that time. In 2015, 2016, she was traded to the Boston Breakers, and then she was in a horrific car accident and suffered injuries from that, had to sit out that whole season. She then retired from soccer and was just gone. And essentially is one of those moments where you're like, wait, why? Yes, granted, she was in this terrible car accident, but was that the reason why? Was that what was happening? And then you started to hear her name more and more, and people were talking about her in the NWSL and internationally, and all of a sudden, like, Sinead's back, and it's, oh my God, and this build up to her being called up as a non-roster invitee to Gotham's preseason. Eva and I, like, halfway shit our pants. We were both like, oh my God, like, just very excited about this, because it was 6 years she was gone from WOSO. That is a long time, and she had to relive so much through the investigations, through the discussions around the investigations. So much trauma was just, that pot was just boiling over while being stirred, and a whole bunch of shit. But she was able to play in 2023 had 21 caps for Gotham when they won the championship with Kriegs, with Neely Martin in the goal, like all that crazy stuff that happened. With Mana Shim, who we'll talk about in a second. But in June, so midway through the season this year, she announced her retirement officially because she has post-concussion syndrome, which is basically like long concussion in the sense that those symptoms aren't going away. She's not fully able to function, and you don't mess with brain injuries because they don't get better after a certain point. And as much as it probably sucked to walk away at that point after regaining so much, because she was on the Irish national team, like so much had come back for her, only to then have brain injury and the fallout from that. So I'm just really happy that she was able to have such a wonderful experience with Gotham, to win the championship, be involved with a team that supported her and embraced her and pick her like her flowers and what she deserved this whole time. I'm crying again.
So Sinead, along with Monishim, who, like Angela said, we're going to talk about, and Kaya McCullough, who played for UCLA and then Washington Spirit, and she was the whistleblower on Richie Burke. The three of them are in just a whole other shelf of legendary to this league.
Yeah.
I think the fact that Sinead was able to come back, this league did not deserve that.
No. This
league did nothing to protect her. If anything, they purposely did the exact opposite. And I mean, kudos to Gotham. I think it can't be overstated how amazing it is that they built an environment that both she and Monishim felt like they could step back into soccer.
Yeah.
I'm glad that she got a ring. I'm glad that she got some World Cup experience with Ireland. I wish it was under a different coach, but that's another story. But, you know, I think that when you look at her career, so much was taken.
Mm-hmm.
And I hope that, you know, the last year and a half or the season and a half for her, it felt like she finally got something back, because truly, I mean, she is held in the highest respect, and she should be. I think it's devastating that we'll never be able to see that alternate universe where none of this bullshit happens and she just gets to play soccer and succeed and shine there. But I mean, she put her in all of the history books. I mean, she is so crucial to this league and women's soccer as a whole. I mean, if you think about it, without them being brave and speaking up, Paul Riley goes on to coach so many more women and
hurt so many more
and hurt so many more people. And, you know, to have the courage to get to a place to say enough is enough. I've already tried and been shot down and silenced. It's now years later. I'm going to dig this shit back up and try again. I mean, that I can't fathom that. And so I wish that she was leaving on her terms, but I'm so, so glad that she got another shot and that it went really, really well, and that she has that to, you know, sit with and, you know, carry with her for whatever else she does.
I want to just like copy paste that for Mana as well.
Yeah.
Like, and there we go.
Yeah. Yeah.
That last bit, like, just, and you too.
Yeah. I mean, I feel like we can just talk about them both.
Yeah. And I mean, so much of their careers overlapped. So a lot of the Portland stuff, the Gotham stuff, because Mana got called up as a national team replacement player during the Olympic break to get her caps for Gotham, which man, I'm so happy for her in that sense too. Like, she was able to come back and reclaim the game for herself.
Yeah.
And honestly, there's generations of players that deserve that.
And now she's working,
Yeah.
for the league, or is it the league or U.S. Soccer? But either way, now
I think it's U.S. Soccer. Yeah.
now she's dedicating her life for the foreseeable future to keeping everyone safe, and that's just tremendously selfless. And the two of them, and again I include Kaya McCullough because this all happened at the same time, and she is retired a few years ago, but she often gets left out of these conversations just because Sinead and Mana were the same coach, the same team and everything. Also, Kaya is Black, and that also has a lot to do with it. But I digress, vaguely, kind of. But, the three of them, it just can't be put into words what they have done for women's soccer as a whole. And, I mean, give them statues, give them blank checks, like whatever honor we can be giving the three of them. I wish them all, peace, happiness, joy, and I'm glad that as far as Sinead and Mana go, they were able to, come back and get the game back for themselves and get a ring and celebrate and, now move. I know Sinead, found a partner at Gotham. Mana is now stepping into, her new role for U.S. Soccer and everything. And it's just so amazing to see that they're both getting to walk away from this sport on such better terms.
Yeah. Yeah.
Well, that's, I mean, again, not knowing a lot or a ton about any and all of this, honestly, fuck yeah, these it's just to have the gusto to, like you said, just really dig some shit up that is really painful, that is really, it's not an easy subject to broach, and being shot down, when it was happening, but being able to say, look, no, this is important enough to bring up again and actually get it, figured out.
Yeah.
That's great. And I will say I've heard clips, we've played clips before, and the accent is just awesome. You can't go wrong with an Irish accent. So
you can't. You really can't.
Okay, so the next one on our list is our very own, very stylish Merritt Mathias, who announced midway through, announced like the last month of the season. I'm done. But it's probably long time coming, a big decision to kind of cross. But yeah, we have Merritt hanging up the boots for the last time.
End of an era. End of an era.
Honestly. So this season, we saw something we hadn't seen for a while in Orlando, winning both the regular season and the championship. So they won the Shield, they won the championship. The last teams to do that were the North Carolina Courage in both 2018 and 2019, where Merritt was on that team. And we mentioned it before, she's an incredibly polarizing player for both players and fans. But it takes a hell of a player. You have to be so good to be so hated across sport. It doesn't matter what sport you play. Yeah, you gotta have the goods regardless. Like, it's one thing to not like somebody because you're just like, if you're playing against them, you're like, I genuinely just don't like them as a person. That's not what I'm talking about. I'm talking about the fact that you are so good at what you do. You're so good at your position. No one wants to play against you because it's that you make their job so much harder. And you are also that good at, turning the ball or like whatever it is to shift the game to make it harder for everybody else. So she's just a menace, both soccer and attitude. She's also known for having an attitude, as we saw after getting almost pushed into a railing face first I don't even remember what team we were playing, but it was the best thing that happened at Angel City this season was Merritt just standing over somebody and saying some choice words, which I think were warranted given that point in the game.
She couldn't leave without one more.
No, and it was perfect.
Wait, that was Merritt?
Yeah.
Oh,
For some
yeah.
reason in my head right now, I thought that was
and
Sid.
Like every longtime Woso fan in the stands was like, "That's Merritt Mathias!"
Just cackling with glee.
Yeah, we were screaming, and my mom was just like, "What's happening? Why are we applauding this?" And I was like, "No, this is.
We'll tell you later.
This Merritt, yeah, this is appropriate." I have mentioned the tweet of all tweets that happened after her ACL tear. That was not that she did not tear. It was torn for her in dramatic fashion. Honestly, this is one of the best. This is one of the reasons why I hate the downfall of Twitter is because of shit like this. So I think I mentioned it before. And Mary, if you end up hearing this clip, I'm sorry if this brings up a bad time, but it was so good. She tweets this whole thing. My knee wasn't injured. Like
my ACL. I did not tear my ACL.
Yes,
my ACL was torn
for me.
Houston was. I was awarded a foul. Houston was awarded a free kick.
Yeah, like it's.
I'm so mad that I can't get the last bit of it because I would have been so stoked if I could have just monologued the whole thing.
It's amazing. And at the time, like Tumblr was big at the time, so Tumblr just said, let's go, reblog, GIFs, videos. Like someone did an interpretive dance
with a dog.
Yes,
there was a dog in the frame the whole time just staring at her like, what is going on?
What is happening?
But not interrupting.
I think that's the one we posted last time.
Yeah, that's the one we posted. And it's so good. Like it's one of those
so good.
things.
It's the song of the summer. It was the song of the summer.
Yeah. We joke about the lore of Woso, and part of the reason why we do this show is because we don't have the pregame stories. We don't have these like connections to the past, and this is one of those things. God bless the internet. Like this is why Twitter was important, because it built such a solid, the way it has for the WNBA, for the NWSL, for the PWHL, for the previous leagues. Like women's sports builds community wherever it goes. Twitter for 15 years was the place to go. I'm pissed about that actually now, because I started my Twitter account in 2009 for the record. Like October 2009. And it's still active, but I have not tweeted. I haven't opened it, and it pisses me off because friendships were built there. Jobs were gotten off Twitter. There was so much that has been ruined by that man. Whatever. Put me on record. I'm probably going to get arrested for it in 6 months, whatever. No, genuinely, like the Woso community on Twitter was / still is, for those who are still hanging on and haven't moved over to Blue Sky or Mastodon or whatever the hell app we're on now. Like it, so good and so fun. And while this tweet was so dramatic, it's so wild. It's remembered like this. It's not, it's just remembered with so much like love, because it was like, no, this was such a moment in history for women's soccer.
It was an incredible
in the silliest
day.
way.
It was such a good day when that post dropped.
Yeah.
Like I cannot overstate just how much fun. And like you didn't have to like do anything to it. It was like the way the punctuation that was in there, really and truly, again, to Angela's point, Merritt, if you're listening, standing over a 20-minute Cannes Film Festival standing ovation. It was so good. It's still so good.
Out your feelings.
It's unmatched.
I honestly, I don't think there's been a better moment in a hot minute for something so terrible. I hope it made you laugh. I hope it still makes you laugh. I hope you look back and go, oh, I can't believe I did that. Oh my gosh. Because that's some shit I would have done. I would have been so mad.
You really would.
I would have been so So I would have had a quiet vendetta. I would have just been livid and
I
probably
would have
said
let
something
you
similar.
post through it.
Yeah.
I would have
Yeah.
I would have seen it coming. I would have seen it happening, and I would have said, you know what, for the betterment of the world, I'm just gonna let this happen.
Exactly. Sometimes you just gotta be mad on the internet, and there
Yeah.
was a time where we could be, and it was the best. It was so great.
Yeah.
I miss those days.
Yeah, I
But
think
no,
go ahead.
no, go ahead.
Oh, I was going to say, I think that coming from an era of women's soccer, and very specifically the NWSL, where the villains were like real life supervillains, it was really nice to have a villain that was just a villain because of the way that they played. Like there's nothing, she's not like a terrible person, she's not abusing people. Like it truly was just that she
Yeah.
was a hard player. And that is so refreshing
I know.
to not to not dislike strongly someone in women's soccer because they're an abuser or they're racist or they're homophobic or something. Truly just because of the way she played the
long
game.
list.
Yeah,
The
there's
long list of isms.
there's so many. There are so many things on the bingo card of reasons to be ousted from women's soccer. And she just played hard. And I think that, you know, she was one of the few players of any sexuality to be open about how shitty what was happening in North Carolina was with the Jaylene Daniels of it all. And I'm just so glad. I know that the last 2 seasons were not what she wanted for her final 2 seasons.
Yeah.
You know, soccer-wise, it's not what the fans wanted for her or from her. But I think that for me personally, knowing that she got to finish out her career with an organization that allowed her, respected, and encouraged her to be exactly who she is. That's one of the, I think for everything that you can say about Angel City, that's one of the things that it's no, like we get that right all the consistently.
Yeah.
Consistently.
Yeah.
And it just makes I'm so happy for her that she got to really experience that and have that. And you know, I again, like I just can't over or understate like the value of just being a pure soccer villain. Had nothing to do with off the field stuff. It had nothing to do with who she was as a person. Truly, it was just about the soccer of it all. And we need that. That is such a good sign for the game and for the league. And it really was just like such a breath of fresh air to be like, oh, there's nothing wrong with you. You just make really crunchy tackles, which I don't love, but compared to the alternative for why you could be a villain in this league, I'll take it. By all means, go in a little hard.
Yeah, but
I mean,
she's just
cool.
She's
she's leaving the, like you guys said, with a crazy trophy cabinet.
Yes.
NWSL championship in 14, 18, and 19, the Shield in 15, 18, and 19, and then was named second best 11 in 2018. So I mean,
which I think they do defenders so dirty in best 11.
Yeah,
I'm just saying.
it's like a best 11 of all forwards, and it's just like, no, that's not how a team works.
Yeah,
Like,
exactly.
that team will fail.
I want a best 11 defenders.
Yeah.
Give me a defenders list and a forwards midfielder list. I know that's
me best 11 of each position.
I know that's not the purpose, but let's just celebrate more people. It's not participation trophies. I want to be clear.
No.
We're not giving participation trophies. We're just honoring how rich of a talent pool there is in the NWSL. So don't come at me for being a millennial with participation trophies.
I am a millennial without participation trophies that got mad the first
I'm a
time
millennial I'm a millennial with participation trophies who got mad and said, "What is this shit? I don't want it."
I remember the first
I like
time
my trophy.
Aww.
Oh, Mario.
That's cute.
I remember the first time that became a thing, And it was because the woman that was directing this league I was in had experienced it in whatever else she had coached, like cheerleading or something. And it was in a time where cheerleaders did not necessarily support girls playing sports. Like, it was like, ew, gross. Why would we do that? So we already were like, who are you and why are you here? But she was like, I got everyone trophies because, you know, you did such a good job this season. And I remember looking at my mom and just going, I didn't win. And she's like, Angela, just take the trophy. And I was like, I don't want that. Why is that? I participate. I finished the
Angela,
league.
don't make
like,
a scene. Don't make a scene.
Honestly, she was just like, can you just, we'll talk about it later. I was like, why are we giving trophies to people who don't win anything? And she's, oh my God. Like, my mom is like seeing the competitive nature in my brain at 12. And she's, oh no, here we go. Yeah. Well, that set her up for the next 10 years of me being bonkers. But yeah, participation trophies are stupid. You just completed the thing you signed up for. That's it. Congratulations. Anyway.
Yeah, I'm sorry. I was doing so well with not derailing things. I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry.
So next on our list, we've got Desiree Scott.
The Destroyer. A Canadian cannonball for the midfield. Just so rock solid. I'm like struggling to come up with what to say because she was just like an all-around great player, or was. I mean, she through Kansas City, Utah, and then Kansas City again, and for Canada, club and country. I think that she was really underrated because, again, you don't get the nickname the Destroyer by sucking.
Yeah.
Or by not just being a total wrecking ball.
Yeah.
And I think there were so many legends from, at least in my mind, from Canadian soccer.
Mm-hmm.
Like an Erin McLeod, Diana Matheson, like those types of people. And then
Drone pilots.
The who?
The drone pilots. Oh, sick burn, Mario.
Ooh.
I didn't say it. I just want to.
I know.
I just want to say I'm not the one who said it.
I know something about current events.
Ooh, check you out.
Maybe it's the Canadians in New Jersey.
Oh, maybe so. Maybe it is.
Maybe the Canadians are trying to spy on Gotham.
Maybe so.
And that's why there are big ass drones all over central New Jersey
Harrison.
right now. Anyway, I don't remember if this was when she was with Utah or when they moved back to Kansas City, but she took time off to take legal guardianship of her brother.
Oh wow.
And yeah, and I don't remember the specifics or like how much of the specifics we know, but to be a female athlete and take a gap year, essentially, you don't have the money to do that. And
yeah, especially prior to 2022.
And unless you're like an Alex Morgan, you know, there's really just no guarantee that there's going to be a spot for you. And so she, you know, ultimately did the right thing and did this amazing thing, and it's a beautiful story as far as her love for her brother goes and her value of family and everything. But between that and injuries, I think she just really fell under the radar. And so, myself included, I would encourage all of us to go look up highlights because she's just a baller. She's great. Mm-hmm. She does. I think I said it about Alyssa. She just gets her shit done. And what more? Yeah, what more do you want from a player?
Yeah, she with over 10,000 minutes over 10 seasons is insane.
It's 1,000 minutes a season.
Yeah,
that's a lot.
That's
of minutes.
a lot.
How many days is that?
I don't know.
I'm sorry.
So that's too much. But
I'll calculate it afterwards and I'll post it somewhere.
But no, the 10,000 minute mark is a huge thing, especially given the fact that in those first few seasons of the NWSL, you weren't playing against 13 other teams. You were playing against 6. So the season was, 10, 12 games long? Not twice that? You know, we're going to be seeing so many more players hit that mark now. But for the older players, like the folks that were in the league in 2013 or came through other leagues into the NWSL and are still playing, like they're amassing that now because those first 4 or 5 years, they played a half of the season they're playing now.
Yeah, I mean, and you think Kansas City when they were like OG Kansas City NWSL was not what this is. They did not have a stadium that was purposely built too small. They didn't have, you know, superstar MVP, other sport owners with questionable politics. Well, they might have had questionable politics, but in a different way. But, you know, I know at one point Becky Sauerbrunn was like, we won the championship last year, and I don't think the city even knows there's a team here. And I mean, I think at one point their high attendance was like 4,300, which if we saw that now from a team, like it would be, and it was devastating back then. Yeah. But just to
you still see that now.
With certain teams, we're still getting the 3,000, 4,000.
I know. I'm sorry. I'm sorry.
I'm sorry, middle of the country team.
I just made such an I'm in Los Angeles thing.
Gotham, for being Gotham, they were still only getting 6.
That's because they're far away from everything. Red Bull Arena isn't near any city.
It's in New Jersey. That's why that's where they're called the New Jersey, New York Gotham.
Yes, but here's
should
the
have
thing.
just don't come at me about the marketing stuff. It should have just been New Jersey. We don't get anything for ourselves, and they should have just stayed New Jersey.
Yeah. Honestly, because the stadium isn't close to... You have to take 3 trains out of New York City to get there. Like, it's kind of far. It's far from, like, where Eva's from. We passed it on the train. I remember seeing Red Bull Arena.
Yeah,
But it was still, like, a long time before we got to Trenton.
Yeah, it's kind of near the Abomination Sports Center thing, but that's also... It's getting
deep cut New Jersey.
The ADD meds have left the building, y'all.
We've both been awake for so many hours.
It doesn't matter though. I'm so happy to be here. I'm having so much fun.
But no, Desiree Scott is a Olympic medalist, a 3-time Olympic medalist, 2 bronze, 1 gold. Unfortunately, all called into question now because of the federation. She was never paid enough given the history of women's soccer and also the Canadian Federation.
Yes.
Just one of those players that wasn't given the credit she was due and or paid what she was worth.
Yeah.
Probably until recently, if that, because her salary is, you start at a lower place being in the league for longer amounts of time. And she has, what is it called? Sponsorships and partnerships and all the good things to send her off into retirement happily.
I hope she somehow ends up involved in this Canadian women's soccer league that's popping up.
Yeah.
I hope we see a lot of Canadian women's soccer legends take part in that and leave the drones somewhere else.
Leave the drones at home.
All right. And then per Eva's request, Carrie Lawrence.
Okay, this is my soapbox. I'm glad that she's doing this on her own terms. I think if she is ready to leave the game behind, that's great. I think that when she tore her ACL, that was going to be her year. And I don't think that we ever got to see the best of Carrie Lawrence. I don't think that she hit her peak. And I am so sad that we don't get the chance to see that. I'm so happy for her that she's ready and she's doing this on her own terms and that this feels like the right time for her. But I have spent the last 4 years, like last year we did fantasy and I had forgotten that she tore her ACL. And when we got her, I was like screaming in my car. And then Angela was like, oh yeah, she's on the SEI. But she was everything that I love in defenders. Fast, gritty, smart. She was just so much fun to watch play. It felt like there was never a challenge that she wouldn't go in for. Excuse me. And, I'm happy that she goes out with a ring. I'm so happy that she goes out as a winner. I just wish.
What team was Carrie?
Orlando.
Okay.
Yeah. Also Marta's fiance. If that helps people connect.
Could have started with that for everybody else.
Well, yeah, you're right. I know. I'm a really big
She's
fan.
new here.
I'm a really
I'm
big
new
fan.
here.
Yeah, I just hold the lore. I don't share it. Public speaking, there's a reason I sit behind a drum set without a microphone near my mouth. We are in rarefied air here. But, I don't think that we really got to see what she was capable of. But if there are no Carrie Lawrence fans, then I have passed. I am ride or die for her as a player, because I don't know her as a person. But I think that I think she would have been really spectacular to watch, and she would have been great for Orlando. And, I'm just happy that she's going out because she's ready to go out and not because of injury or anything like that. So that is my Carrie Lawrence spiel. Long live Carrie Lawrence 5 ever. I'll go cry about it. It's fine. It doesn't matter.
Anything to add, Angela?
No, that was all
Nope,
Eva.
that was it. That was
Literally
all. All right.
earlier, can I talk about Carrie Lawrence? I was like, you can talk about Carrie Lawrence. Like, yes.
Okay. All right. Well, continuing on, we've got another legend of the game, Christine Sinclair.
All-time leading. In fairness to us, she doesn't want us to talk about her.
Honestly, yeah.
In fairness.
She doesn't want any of this. She had to wear a shirt with her own name on it for her farewell game. And like, genuinely, I felt for her in that. That's awful.
My favorite Christine Sinclair moment is 2017 semifinal between Portland Thorns and Western New York Flash. I almost said women's New York national team. but Western New York had scored, and then like within 3 minutes she just sends like a baller like line drive in, and afterwards they ended up losing the game, but afterwards they asked her about the goal and she was like, yeah, they scored, I got pissed, so I scored.
Yeah.
And
that's the Bonkers game with Sonnet, right?
Yeah, that's the game where Sonnet scored the equalizer and just about ripped off her shirt, and I could do a whole podcast on that game. That's a whole other thing, but yes, that is the same game. If you have not
watched it, please find it on YouTube.
It's on YouTube.
An absolutely bonkers soccer game.
Honestly,
bonkers.
If you want to check out any of these players, the league initially was streaming all the games on YouTube for free. I believe all of those are still there. And the quality is not quite as bad as you'd think it would be. It sucks.
Yeah, that's fair.
But it does exist. So highly recommend going if you need something on while you're cleaning the house or whatever, or you're bored. Throw on some of these games. See where some of these players scored goals or maybe got the red card or something, or see like where some of these highlights come from, and watch these games, and they're very entertaining. And when you consider like how few resources they were getting, it was unreal to watch these players succeed within the means that they were given.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
and as far as I know, Portland wasn't using drones.
No, they weren't.
Just had a horrible FO. But
yeah, there's other stuff to crucify them for, but not drones.
Not drones.
But she is one of the few players that like spent her entire career with one team.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah. So she and Pino went to college together.
In Portland.
They went to the University of Portland. They were Portland Pilots together. So they have a long history of playing together, playing against each other. That is a matchup, honestly, that stories are written about, because it's like 2 prolific goal scorers. Sink is the all-time leading goal scorer in soccer.
Sorry, Carl.
That's it. Soccer. I know. Men's, women's doesn't matter in soccer. And that's a big thing that the men's game likes to forget. Oh, so-and-so scored this many goals. They're still 20 behind Sink.
Well, sorry.
Or go ahead.
No, you go.
No,
you
go
go.
ahead. Oh, no, I was just going to say, I'm kind of like, whatever. I'm not the biggest, oh my God, Christine Sinclair is my favorite player. Like, whatever. But you cannot deny really good players. You can't. I'm not a Carly Lloyd fan. Was she great? Sure. That's just, it's statistics. I don't even like stats. And
Blink
like,
twice.
Just,
blink twice if Carly Lloyd is standing next to you right now.
If she's in our house, please help. Like,
the thing about Christine Sinclair being the like all-time leading scorer is that the Canadian Federation did not give those women the games that they should have been getting. They were not playing. We are very spoiled with the U.S. women's national team in how often they play. Every international window, they are playing, or at bare minimum, they're in camp. Canada didn't have that.
no.
And
not
also
at all.
when you consider that this is going to sound really shady, but when you consider that they weren't always getting to the like gold medal match for everything. So when you factor in how many less games she had to do this, it's absolutely unreal. And it's just that much more impressive. And it makes you wonder what it would have looked like with proper investment and without drones.
And with actual paychecks. Yeah, Canadian Federation. I have problems with the U.S. Federation. I have bigger problems with a lot of the international federations not paying their players at all.
Yeah.
Like you can't even approach equal conversations when there's no pay happening, or like
we've talked
alluded
about the
to
Canadian
pay.
one. We've talked about Jamaica. We've talked about Spain. Yeah, there's some bullshit going on.
Do you
Not great.
remember? It was a while ago. Eva won't remember. She wasn't living out here then. But do you remember the Santa Anita racetrack "Pay the Lady" commercial? It was like betting on it and "Pay the Lady." That's what I hear in my head every time. I'll find it on YouTube and I'll send it to you. My
Please
mom
do.
referenced it the other day and now it's in my head.
That sounds amazing. That's
Yeah,
so
it's just a
exciting.
lady who bets on a horse and wins, and she's pay the lady, and it was like a commercial that lived in my family's brains for years.
I love that.
Probably
I
still
can't
does
wait
with
to
my tias.
resurrect it.
Oh yeah,
I
It'll
can't
happen.
wait. I can't wait to bring it back and annoy your entire family.
Those old commercials are like Jen and I went through a rockapella rabbit hole yesterday.
Oh,
That
good.
was, so good. Okay,
But
so
back to Sink.
beyond that,
She's
back
great.
to Sink.
And she hung up her boots from the international game last year. She stepped away from the Thorns at the end of this season. Honestly, left the game better than it was when she showed up. She is decorated upon decorated.
I mean, NWSL champ 13, 17, and 22.
Yeah.
All time, like you said, all time leading goal scorer. All time leading goal scorer in football in general, like just in soccer, period.
I heard she
NWSL
won. I heard
Shield.
she won the Super Bowl once. She plays football. That's a good joke,
we use
right,
both
guys?
terms here.
Interchangeably because they were both
They're
created.
both English terms.
That's
By
a
the
joke no
English.
one has ever made before. You heard it
Nope,
here
never.
first.
Heard it here first. The Shield in 16 and 21, Olympic gold medalist in 21, Olympic golden boot at the 2012 Olympics. Dude, golden boot without even winning the Olympics.
Yeah, they
There
won
you go.
bronze in 2012 and 2016. Won
Okay, well,
gold in
why wasn't that-
2021.
Why
Did
did
they?
they
why
put
that
that on the
wasn't there.
list?
I don't know.
Damn it. And then Canadian Player of the Year 14 times.
And she's up there in the like where Marta had played in 6 World Cups and scored in 6 World Cups, sinks 5 and 6 or something like that. Like she's right there too. That's the thing. It's not like she played for a couple of years. She's played for 30.
Yeah, to
She's
be
been- I
named Player
feel
of
like-
the Year 14 times.
Yeah.
That's
And
like
she's our age.
that's like getting to high school.
Yeah.
That's a high schooler. That's
Yeah,
her life in
that's-
soccer.
Mm-hmm.
Her soccer career is about to graduate high school. That's nuts. That's a long ass time.
Yeah. Yeah. So going from the Canadian national team to the U.S. national team, or
So
going
we've
back
got-
to, I should
We've,
say.
we've got a couple. We did a little reorganization of the list here per the requests of our two co-hosts here, and one of
Nice
them
one.
very late addition because apparently everybody forgot. But so let's start with that one. Let's start with Sam Mewis.
Sam Mewis.
It's
Again.
not fair. It's not fair.
No better midfielder. Not fair. Sam Mewis is part of the generation of players, both on the national team and club, that were not given the opportunity to heal when injured.
Yep.
We talked about this with Kelly O'Hara, with Merritt, like so many players. Sid, Tobin, Kristen Press. I mean, she was given the opportunity with Angel City, but like that was also residual from other injuries. Like there are so many players that you can look through their careers and you're like, you should not have been playing.
Yeah,
Your knee
the
was
North
not
Carolina
attached.
the North Carolina of it all
Yeah.
comes through, feels pretty strong with this
Both
one.
in college and club. But Sam Mewis, just what a woman. Like so silly and so anxious and so fun and so goofy and just like the best. So the national team used to have far too much access to the internet in camps. And it was great for all of us because it was so silly. You would get like pranks in the hotel rooms and like excursions to different restaurants and all just, we had too much access to YouTube, like in general, as late teens, early 20s in the early 2000s. Like maybe it was the best time on the internet. I've reminisced and felt very nostalgic this whole night. But Sam Mewis was part of such a wonderful chapter of the national team, as well as the NWSL. She is so good. She's so tall. Just
Tower
wanna
of
be friends
Power.
with Sam Mewis. Yeah, Tower of Power. Just so cool.
She should have the
And-
armband right now.
Yeah,
I'll say it. She should have the armband right now.
yeah. She should be the midfielder with the armband, 100%
Yeah, she should be the
100%.
captain right now.
of every team she's on.
yeah, I'm so glad that she's not leaving the sport. And I've
Yeah.
so been enjoying being able to hear her talk about soccer and still share her knowledge of the game through that way. I think she's a wonderful ambassador for the sport. I mean, you can't go wrong with a masshole. You know, she was just incredible to watch, and I think it sucks. It sucks.
Yeah.
But I'm so glad that the game doesn't lose her. And the fact that she's getting Becky Sauerbrunn to talk to us
Talk to people. Yeah.
and stay in public. Because I'm
Yeah.
really scared that when Becky retires, we're just never going to hear from her again.
No, like she
And
her
it's no
husband are just
girl.
gonna sit in their cottage of a house and read books and mind their business.
Yeah, it's
gonna
no-
be wonderful.
Like, no, girl,
But
tell me
no.
about things. Tell me about books. Tell me about soccer. Tell me whatever you want. But
Yeah.
Sam Mewis is one of the few things North Carolina has done right is, you know, honoring her the way that they did earlier this season. I think one of the memories that comes to mind is after that Portland, Western New York Flash game that we were talking about earlier with Sync, at the end of that game, instead of celebrating, she was comforting her friends on Portland.
Yeah.
And no one would have faulted her for celebrating. No one ever
Yeah.
would. But I think that says a lot about who she is and the kind of friend she is. There is a video floating around somewhere of her being late to a national team meeting. that is incredible. Her nickname at one point was Panic Petunia. I personally love the video of her interviewing Rose and Sonnet where she's talking about how she had a meeting with them telling them that it's her job and they have to take it seriously. I also love, I don't think anyone was drunker than she was in the celebrations after 2019.
Yeah.
I would love to know if she still owes people money. But because I know that was a thing, she went hard and she deserved to go hard, and I'm glad she went hard. Especially in hindsight, knowing how it pans out, it just makes me so happy that she just milked that moment for all it was worth and got every bit of joy out of it for herself. I'll always be sad that it ended the way that it did, but you know,
same.
Thanks for the memes while you were here. You that's the thing. Her career was cut short, but what a career she had. Like, she won so much with North Carolina. I believe she was in some best 11s and everything. She had an amazing career. She packed so much into the short time that she had, and I'm really grateful that we had her for as long as we did.
And if she wants to hang out and be friends with us on the pod, that's cool too. Like, can
You
we
know
get
what?
a Casual FC the women's
Mewis.
game crossover with Sam Mewis? I'm just putting that in the universe for 2025.
Yes, let's go.
I'll just cry the whole time.
Do it.
I'm so sorry for being embarrassing, but please. All right. The next two.
Right. The two heavy hitters for and
This is where it gets hard.
this is where the cry count is gonna go up. Two are gonna be Kelly O'Hara and Alex Morgan. I think we're gonna start off with Kelly.
Yeah.
I don't think there are many more athletes that ooze personality and charisma the way she does. I hear the name Kelly O'Hara and 30 different clips fly through my mind, like the 2019 World Cup when someone crashed into her and she just threw up her hands and was like, my bad. Or whiffing on the ball.
There's just so many.
Leaving the float in 2019 to go drink beer from a fan. Cracking the beer in her ESPN body issue shoot. Long live RIP. In our hearts forever.
The ESPN body issue.
Chocolate milk.
There is a
big chocolate milk fan. Look up those ads.
Yeah. There's a clip of, again, when the national team had too much access to the internet, they were learning how to play Quidditch.
For the London Olympics. There is context, to be clear.
There's context, yeah. But who needs it?
That's true.
And she just face plants. It's just so good. Like,
it had been raining.
I just imagine them running out there with brooms.
Yeah. It's more incredible than you could possibly imagine. It so delivers on how good it is.
I've seen people play Quidditch, but now just thinking
this is the women's national team playing running with brooms in rainy England.
Yeah. But as prolific and wonderful that as Kelly was on the pitch, like, I mentioned it in the episode, I think, against Gotham or going into the playoffs, something like that, where if you need a bitch, call Kelly. That is a perfect example of the kind of, if you needed someone to start shit and get the team rallied up behind you, call Kelly.
Yeah.
Because she's going to be the one to pull everybody in a huddle and say far too many words I wouldn't normally say on this podcast, but get the point across in like the best way. Like, we're gonna effing go this and do this, and you know, it's like, we're gonna kill somebody, and like just so emphatic. But it's that energy that you need to shift the tide in a game. It's aggressive, it's hungry, it's wonderful, and it until recently hasn't really been celebrated. I feel like in women's sports as a whole, that like true aggressive competitive nature, and she just embodied it.
Yeah, she could play anywhere
really
on the field. She could be up top, she could be a defender, she could be in the midfield. I know I have the GIF, I don't know if I have the video, but there was a national team game circa What?
I think I know what you're talking about, and it's already funny in my head.
I'm curious if it is. They're in like when they, walk out for the anthem and everything, and they like go in the line and they're all high-fiving each other, and Kelly is just bouncing off the walls.
Oh.
And the camera catches Becky Sauerbrunn looking over at her and just going, "What is wrong with you?"
That's not what I was thinking of at all.
Oh, what were you thinking of?
The whiff.
Oh, the whiff is the whiff is iconic, but
yeah,
I think the thing that makes Kelly O'Hara is like the multitudes. She could be the goofiest person you've ever seen.
Yeah.
And then the baddest bitch you've ever watched. And it happens like that. Like, it's so fast. And like, I don't understand. I don't understand how that's all in one person. Also, she is the reason that I know that chocolate milk is a great recovery drink. Because she was sponsored by chocolate milk officially for a long time. Yeah. And I think that's really cool.
A Got Milk campaign person.
Yeah, but not just milk, like chocolate milk specifically.
Chocolate milk.
Also, her dad. We had too much access to these people, and we'll never have this much access again. And it's probably a good thing.
Should we? Yeah,
but
I understand why the NWSL fandom is so intense.
We had Twitter, we had YouTube, we had MySpace, we had Facebook.
But hold on, her family would domesticate squirrels. And so there are videos of her feeding and talking to squirrels and stuff. And people would give her squirrels after games and stuff. And it was a whole thing for such a long time. And I think it's so sad that we lost that and we left it behind somehow.
Give her squirrels?
Yeah, they were plush squirrels,
Oh.
not taxidermy and not live squirrels, stuffed squirrels or squirrel memorabilia,
Mario.
squirrel paraphernalia, if you will.
I thought people were like catching squirrels and just.
I wouldn't put it
"Here's a
past.
squirrel."
I would not put it
Yeah.
past some of these fans.
Yeah.
So some of them are real unhinged, and I know I seem unhinged, but not that kind of unhinged. But yeah, she just what a character. What a character. I love so many athletes, but there are so few that are as magnetic as she is.
Yeah.
You just want to hang out with her.
Yeah,
she's
can't
so
stop
funny.
watching her on the pitch. You just want to hang out with her. So to give like the quick recap of how many things she's won. She was the NWSL champion in 2021 with the Spirit, 2023 with Gotham, World Cup winner in 2015 and 2019, and a fantastic person to watch in the parades. An Olympic gold medalist in 2012. She was there in 2021, right? For the bronze?
Yeah,
I don't remember.
I kind of repressed that, so I genuinely couldn't
same.
tell you.
Aside from specific things about the Olympics, that was just sad.
I know Tobin was there, and I know it got me a fiance. So that's all I've held on to.
That's about it. Yeah,
that's all I know. That's all I know.
And then she in 2019 was the FIFA Pro Women's World 11. When like that World 11 was literally just like the national team, our national team, because that team was insane, absolutely bonkers.
Also, college teammate and pal of our beloved captain Allie Riley.
Oh yeah,
that feels like a nice thing to say.
Oh yeah, definitely. And another decorated person from the women's national team. The one and only Alex Morgan.
Where do you even start?
Dun, dun. We will never know all the things that she's done.
Yeah.
To save, preserve, help, coach, prevent. There's so many things that we will never know that she's done in the game.
Yeah,
everything
that we know that she's done has come out from other people.
Yeah.
She is never, and earlier in her career, she got a lot of internalized sexist bullshit about about her doing the swimsuit issue and stuff like that. And you have to remember, they were not making money. Nobody knew who they were. For a long time, she was the U.S. women's national team. It kind of went like Mia Hamm in terms of a player everyone knows. And then we waited and got to Alex Morgan. And so many of the players on their podcasts have really said, like, all of it. You have to be good or nobody cares. And she was just unbelievable. I mean, we all kind of forget that she got, was it Golden Boot 2022? I think with San Diego. Like, just, you know, I know that the third string goalkeeper for San Diego said that on her first day, Alex Morgan came and just sat down next to her and
lunch together.
Yeah, a true leader. She cared about everyone on the team. And I think, you know, when we were talking about Becky and talking about how, you know, these types of players, the team culture is changing. And, you know, not to go too much into the Corbin Albert of it all, but when Alex Morgan was there and said, we're handling this internally, I believed her because her track record is fucking flawless. And now that she's gone, I no longer believe it's being handled. But, I mean, we know what she did for Mana Shim and Sinead. For
Tottenham.
Yeah, Tottenham. Thank you, because I was trying to figure out if I could even come close to pronouncing it correctly. Jess Fishlock came out and said that she secured reasonable practice accommodations for the team when she went during the COVID year. She is the reason that this league has an anti-harassment policy. She is the reason there's HR in the NWSL. Honestly. We will never know the extent of what she has done for this sport. I think that maybe some people would say this is a hot take. I think we're in Billie Jean King territory with her.
Like this generation's
She is an American sport legend. Not just women's soccer, not just soccer. She has done, and I believe will continue to do really incredible things for the world of athletics. And it's really hard for me that she's done. It felt like she was going to play forever. It's hard to imagine that I still just think, she's going to come back next season. She's pregnant and she'll have her child, and then she'll get it back together and she'll come back and she'll be Golden Boot winner again. And she'll be at practice with 2 kids in her arms still.
Like Sid did it.
Yeah, still shipping goalkeepers. I think knowing what we know, I don't know that the league survives without Alex Morgan.
Yeah.
I think that because again, I can't even imagine what we don't know that she has done.
Yeah.
For players, for just overall. I think we'll just never truly understand how massive her legacy actually is.
Because she doesn't talk about it. She doesn't brag about it. She doesn't say, oh, guess what I just did? Yeah. Like Eva said, we only know these 7 things because other coaches have talked about it. Different, you know, directors of other leagues have been like, oh, yeah, we did this because Alex Morgan said so. And it was like, what?
Yeah.
That's a thing you can just do? But it is a really interesting conundrum to be a woman who plays sports, because you're either too feminine or not feminine enough. You're too strong or you're not strong enough. There's no place to exist of just existing. There's always some level of criticism, like, oh, she wears makeup on the pitch. Who gives a shit? If you can find mascara that doesn't run in your eyes while you're sweating and running around for an hour and a half, cool. Let everyone know it exists. Like the same thing for women's basketball players. Oh, she's not female presenting enough. She's not feminine enough. She's too this, she's too that. Like women in general experience this on a daily basis in every facet of our lives. And then the second you go into any industry really that's more male dominated or that people insist be male dominated, it adds a different layer of criticism. And because Alex Morgan was like the hot girl on the team, or the one that everybody knew, or she did the swimsuit issue, she did this, she did that, it allowed her more exposure, which added to that criticism and the availability of that criticism. And that in no way was easy for her. She's starting to kind of talk about how hard it was and how hard it was to be the face of the team and lead the team, but lead the team for the rest of the world, not actually lead the team. I mean, she did in different ways, but like, to be so good and also never good enough is a stupid thing to have to experience. And she was scoring goals all over the place, chipping keepers, like doing all of these insane things on the pitch, and people still were like, she ain't shit. And it's, in what world do you exist in? Because there's no way that you could go 1v1 with Alex Morgan and come out with an ounce of ability to breathe, especially dudes with microphones. There was so much shit that she had to exist in. But she's an NWSL champion, a Shield winner, a Golden Boot winner, a Best 11 winner, a World Cup winner, a gold medal winner, she was FIFA Pro Women's World 11 6 different times. Like, just insane. And somehow was not given credit, which is wild to me. But what do I know?
Something that I think is interesting about her career, when she was with Orlando, she went and played with Lyon in France.
Oh, yeah.
And people were very critical of that move because of money and et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. And this was at the time where the league was very precarious, and there was concern that American national team players leaving and going to Europe could destroy the league. And she said that she wanted to add a new dimension to her game, and everyone kind of thought she was full of shit. And then she came back and she had added a new dimension to her game. She had added like a defensive component that hadn't been there before, and it just added like this whole extra color to her game. And I think I just remember being like, oh shit, she actually did it. Like I thought she was just like giving like a canned PR thing of, I can't say that, it's money. I can say that I want to go for Champions League, but I gotta say something else. I gotta say that it's for soccer reasons. And then she came back and it was like, oh, maybe it really was for soccer reasons. Like she was a different player. Like she was a new player when she came back. And I would, in terms of looking back at stuff, 100% go look at the hype video that Orlando did when she came back.
Yeah. I
remember just like chills. It's so good. It's basically like Alex's home. It's such a good video, and I think similar to Sinead and Mana, like, this sport did not deserve what she gave to it. And I'm so excited to see what's next for her. I'm happy that she is happy. I wish she was just going to play forever, but that's not realistic. But, she's one of those athletes that I feel really lucky to have been alive to see the entirety of her career.
Yeah.
Because there's never going to be anyone like her again. I don't know how often we're going to see that balance of off the field work paired with on the field production.
Mm-hmm.
And I think we're all just really lucky that we got to be here for it.
Agreed.
Yeah.
Cosign. Whatever the kids say these days. Thumbs up.
I couldn't tell you. If you're a kid, call in and let us know.
No. If you're a
kid,
don't call in.
Don't talk to us if you're a kid.
If you saw
don't talk to
Sid's
strangers.
Recent Instagram post, Maggie Doherty Howard,
Duda,
and someone else, I don't remember who, went on a vacation to a resort in Mexico, and it was like a no kids vacation.
Adults
And-
only, if you will.
Yeah, Sid walks through this door and you hear, "Sid, look, a kid." She goes, "Nope," and turns around and just walks out. That's how this feels. No kids, except for Josie.
That's
but
what
still.
that was. Okay,
Yeah.
so since I have my phone permanently on silent,
Yeah.
like I scroll through Twitter and Instagram and TikTok like on silent.
Yeah.
So I see her like open the door, turn back, and I'm like, I don't get it.
Yeah, it was like the partition between the family side of the resort and the adults only, and she was like, "Hard pass by."
Yeah.
And like,
Can't blame her.
yeah,
All right. Well, that is the second class of
yeah.
Retiring,
2024 class,
And all
Players.
of the entire 2015 gold medal World
Yeah.
Cup championship team is now in the wind,
retired.
in a better place now.
Oh man.
Yeah,
It's,
No,
it's
it's
so
the
sad.
national
It's 9 years. It's 9 years. That feels
stupid.
that feels nuts. But we're getting to a point where, if I can leave some parting
Yeah,
words on this, we're getting to a point for a lot of us where the players who made us fall in love with this game are phasing out, and it shocked me when I saw that like all of the 2015 team is gone.
yeah.
It doesn't feel
Like,
like
that was
long.
my team.
Yeah, it doesn't feel like that long ago.
Yeah,
The youngest player on that team was Morgan Gautreau.
and she just won the championship.
Yeah, she did just win the
I'm so
championship.
happy.
But she's a veteran now, but she's not, it's not like she's 40. She's still got years to go. And these are legends. These are legends of US soccer. Men's or women's. I don't give a shit. Just straight up legends. And what they have done for the sport and for just equal rights in general is unbelievable. And these were two really special groups of players, 2015 and 2019. And we're coming to the end, and that sucks. But
yeah.
we have a lot more time with some of them. And so don't take them for granted, because these are really special players, and we're not going to have this much access to them ever again. We shouldn't have this much access to them ever again. And we're never going to get to know these players the way that we got to know, you know, the
2015 and 2019.
yeah, the
team.
15ers and the 19ers. So if that's
Yeah.
what we're calling them. So
That's
yeah, I don't like it, but it
Sounds
just
weird.
came out. It doesn't have the same ring as like the 99ers, but you know, that is such a special time capsule of this sport. And so, you know, let's celebrate them while we still got them. We've still got some of these titans. You know, we've still got Rose Lavelle, Sonnet, Haran, Mal. You know, Kristen Press. We still got Kristen Press, y'all.
Yep.
But that's a whole other podcast. But anyway, like it's, you know, we are getting to the end. Like we are in the twilight of this era. And, you know, let's just remember that, and let's just enjoy it and be present for it and give these players, you know, the respect and the love that they deserve.
And I'm going to go sing "We've Got 4 Stars on Our Shirt" the rest of the night, because it's been in my head since we started.
Let's go.
Do you know them singing that, Mario, after the 2019 World Cup?
no.
Oh, yeah. It's "We've got 4 stars on our shirt. We got 4.
Also, Rose Lavelle was so drunk that her mom was holding up her legs at the after party.
Yep.
It's really
just-
it's really important to me that you know that. They were all
Yeah.
at the after party. The entire team stood up on the bar top and
On
they
the
were
bar, and her
dancing.
mom's like holding her
And
up.
Rose's mom was holding her legs so that she didn't fall over. Legend.
The way it first came out, completely different picture in my head.
Totally
and I was
fair.
like, wait, what?
Totally
Welcome
fair.
to Life with Eva.
Totally fair. You rarely get context.
like I said, I know. I mean, I learned so much through both of you about all of these players. But what I did know and did respect was and we've talked about this before, like in many different pods, it's just the idea that kind of semi-unquantifiable soccer IQ.
Yeah.
And that almost has nothing to do with your actual ability or, your talent on the field. It's the knowledge of how to put those things together. There's reasons why players aren't necessarily the ones tracking back and forth the entire time, but they're the ones that are the playmakers. And a lot of these players are those types of players, or they're like the walls that complete these games, right? So I really do hope, for the sake of the league, that their knowledge has been passed on, right?
Yeah.
Because we're getting a lot of new younger players, which is great. It means that we'll have faster teams, longer careers with some of these players, bigger kind of new amazing feats, but also we don't want to live through the teenage years of them awkwardly finding out or figuring out how to play.
Yeah.
Learn from the vets, from the people that know how to play and what to look at and things like that. So I really do hope all of that for the future and amazing careers for each one of these players. And again, we have Alyssa Naeher and Becky Sauerbrunn from international play, and then from footy in general, Sinead, Farrelly. And we're like screwing up names every year. Where Ashim, I'm just going down the list. Merritt,
It's
Mathias,
also 11:45. It's late.
Alex
y'all.
Morgan, Kelly O'Hara, Desiree Scott, Carrie Lawrence, per Eva's request, and Christine Sinclair. So with all of that, thank you. We did have
Who did we forget?
Megan
We didn't forget
Montefiusco.
anyone.
Oh shit.
Can I real quick, I will be so fast, I
Yes.
promise. Okay. Megan Montefiusco, aka or formerly known FKA, formerly known as Megan Oyster, started with Washington Spirit, had a great rookie season and a great early career there. I forget where she went after that. I want to say Houston, and then she ended up in Orlando. So glad that she goes out with a ring. Incredible defender, so consistent, so fun to watch. Got screwed around by Jim Gabarra in the early Washington days and did not get the consistent minutes that she should have. Again, that's a whole other podcast. But she had been on the SEI, so I'm sad that we didn't really get to give her a goodbye tour. But really fun defender. Again, go look up some highlights. You will not regret it. Great teammate, great player. Cool name like Megan Oyster. What a great name. And Megan Montefiusco is also a very cool name. It's so late. But yeah, props to Megan Montefiusco. We will miss you so much. Glad you got a championship, because you deserve it. Because you're that good of a player.
Nice. I did put out a really quick, and this was weeks ago before life happened, and so I never really followed up. Myrna did respond to us. She was the main person that responded, the only person that responded to us, because she saw it and she did, and then I never reposted it, so nobody else ever did. But I was asking about what are your favorite moments of the retiring class, and 3 things: Merritt's outfits,
Yes.
everything Kelly O'Hara did,
Yes.
says and does,
Yes.
and Alyssa taking the penalty kick are
Yep.
the 3 things. So I mean, on board with exactly with what Eva and Angela here are saying. So with that, thank you for listening to our retirement episode during the off season. We'll have hopefully a couple more episodes before the season restarts.
That may be.
Whenever that may
We
be.
may never
Schedules and
know.
out.
If you want to keep updates on that, Where's the NWSL schedule.com is an actual website. Go check it out. Very simple. No, it's not out. And when it is out, it'll have a link straight to the schedule. There, that's the word that I was struggling for.
You got it.
Yeah, it is late. And and with all of that, if you like what you hear, hit the subscribe button wherever you're listening. Check out casualfc.com for all the pod links. We're also on YouTube, also a video on Spotify, which we were, top 20 video podcasts on Spotify because they, just launched it this year. So yay, we'll take that this year. I mean, top 20%. Sorry, not top 20%.
Whatever. I don't care. That's
whatever.
I was going to say, that's wild. Not to be rude, but
imagine.
Wow.
All right, follow us on all socials, Casual FC Pod, Instagram, Blue Sky, fuck Twitter, Threads, and TikTok, as long as that's going to be around, because I think that's gone in January. So
who knows?
Can't
whatever.
they take the Cybertrucks instead?
Come join us on the Discord. The link's in the bio, or just DM us and we'll send you a link. The Discord's always been fun. We're having lots of fun conversations on there. It's a random
you get secret
gift
access to
battle.
merch and like early input on cool stuff in the Discord.
Yes.
So come hang.
We also talk about breaking news.
We do lots of breaking news.
There was none of that today. But if there was, we would talk about it.
Mm-hmm.
All right. And then best ways to support the pod. Share, subscribe, comment on any one of the posts, on any one of the social platforms. Better yet, on the podcast platform that you're listening to this on or watching us on. Comment, do the things on the thing that you're doing the thing on. Grab some merch at our shop, shop.casualfc.com. I'm doing a lot of this because I'm like reading as I'm going along.
The red bouncy ball. We are so old.
What's the gif of Tom Hanks where he's like typing like this with two hands? He just goes,
Oh, yeah. Tom Hanks. No, you're thinking Jim Carrey.
No, you're thinking Jim Carrey. Jim Carrey, Bruce Almighty.
Yeah. Wow.
just old yeller me now.
All right. We have a bunch of stuff on the shop. I just took down all of the Becky tweet stuff, but there's more stuff coming
It's fun while it
along.
lasted.
Yeah. And if you feel so inclined and want to help and support the pod, you can always buy us a coffee. Check out our link on our socials or go to buymeacoffee.com/casualfcpod. Basically, throw us $1 or $2 and, help us keep this thing going. And if anything, if all else, just tell a friend about the podcast. It brings good luck. And, we're excited to be talking about it. All of this next season.
Whenever it may
be. We have the long list of things, of people we want to talk to, of the things, and we are determined to get a lot of them done. So
yeah,
it'll help if more people can listen and enjoy that stuff. So thank you. It is almost midnight. We're done recording finally, and I will edit this
Happy Christmas,
later.
happy Hanukkah, happy Kwanzaa, happy New Year, happy end of the season, happy Monday night at 11:47. Thanks for hanging out with us, guys.
Mazel.
We'll see you next year.
Bye.
Bye.